So Cornwall is near Wales and has some elements from its culture that would fit a Welsh-themed Fakemon region, such as mine, Kellot. Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to go over each of the Fakemon I've made of Cornish origin. I've already discussed the Bobster line, my water starter, being based on lobsters but also pirates, which Cornwall was infamous for having, as well as the Crowman line, based on the red-billed Cho, a symbol of Cornwall, and is representative of Cornish myths surrounding King Arthur. If you want more detail on those, check out the first two videos of this series. But time for the mon that I've not discussed in videos. How about Pasky here, based on Cornish pasties, which are a local delicacy that Cornwall is heavily associated with. It's essentially an assortment of beef and vegetables in a closed pocket of pastry, so naturally it's fairy fire type. Not just because it's a food-based mon, who are usually fairy type, all of whom are based on sweet food though, so it might just be sugary mon that are fairy type, but also because it's a baked good served hot, unlike Dachsbun. And yes, it'll have well-baked body. Its name combines pasty and pisky, the Cornish term for pixie. I don't think I need to explain what pixies are. They're small fairies. That further explains fairy, but also the queen of the pixies in Cornish folklore was known as Joan the Wad. Wad means torch, and torches are traditionally lit with a flame, hence the steam crown Pasky has. Joan the Wad is also known within the culture of Devon, a nearby English county. Speaking of, the earliest published version of the Three Little Pigs is from Devon, and has pixies instead of pigs. So that's why Pasky here has a pig nose on its face despite being based on a food made with beef. I should probably specify that Cornwall and Devon are both counties in England, but Wales isn't. Counties are regions with shared cultural significance within the country of England, but Wales has such significance that it is legally considered as a separate country within the United Kingdom. Cornwall also has a similar history, as it is another Celtic nation, but it didn't receive the same treatment for some reason. If you're enjoying this video, why not like, comment and subscribe? It would really help out. Why not check the links in my description to my Instagram and Discord server to chat with fans such as yourself. Back to the video. Want to see another single stage fire type? Well, here's Cuckoo, a mono fire type whose name combines cook and cuckoo. You may wonder why I made a single stage mono fire type, but the dex has a lot of dual types and this didn't need another type. It can't be flying type because it's tethered to this house-shaped log of wood, and it can't be fire grass because the log isn't the Pokemon. Spiritomb isn't a rock type for the same reason. So other than cuckoos, what is Cuckoo based on? Well, each year on the closest Sunday to the 28th of April, the Cornish village of Towdnack holds the Cuckoo Feast, which started after a farmer invited his friends to come round a fire during a very cold April. When he threw a log into the flames, a cuckoo flew out, and the weather became warm again. This association with fire and the warming of the weather made it clear that I needed to make it fire type. The name also came instantly. It made sense to me to make Cuckoo a bird made out of fire, coming out of the log as a flame would, but also for the log to resemble a house, so that the whole design could resemble a cuckoo clock. I just thought it'd be cute. Something else that would be cute is if you dropped me some support over on my Patreon, or became a YouTube member. You get exclusive rewards such as being able to see each of the Kelotmon and videos early. From cute to ugly, but the cool kind of ugly, we have the final single stage mon of the video. Something both Wales and Cornwall share are myths about giants. One giant from Cornish folklore is that of the Thunderdell, a two-headed giant from Jack the Giant Killer, the protagonist of which being the same Jack as in Jack and the Beanstalk. So here's Twindera, a two-headed giant. The original story Thunderdell is from the Arthurian era. It is ice electric. Ice because Thunderdell is said to come from the North Pole, and electric as a pun, and for balancing reasons. The name Twindera comes from tundra, a snowy landscape, thunder, and twin, due to its two heads. Said two heads also loosely reference comedy and tragedy masks. The idea of duality reinforced having these two very different elemental types. This is also present in its club. Thunderdell is commonly depicted with a club. I liked the idea of it being made from ice, but also being able to shock people. This naturally fits the shape of Kanabo, the main weapon of the Oni. The Oni elements combined well. It kinda gave the whole mon structure. Since I won't be the first Fakemon creator to suggest that humanoid mon are hard when they're not based in any way on animals. The yellow and blue colours fit an Oni, and it brought the idea of horns, tusk-like teeth, and the loincloth. Although I decided to pattern it based on snow leopards and not tigers, as I felt like they were a more fitting kind of panther for the ice typing, and it balances the colours a bit better in my opinion. Circling back to the club, it inspired a new physical move which I call Thunder Club. The name simply combining thunder and tundra. The move is kinda like Flying Press, acting like an ice or electric type move depending on what does more damage. It also has a small chance of giving a status condition, although it is a coin flip whether or not that's paralysis or frostbite. So since we were just talking about a giant that Jack faced in his stories, why not a beanstalk? So meet the baby bean Pokemon, Babean. Babean is a ground psychic type. Don't worry, it still learns grass type moves, and will have chlorophyll to make use of it. I just felt the fact that this line and its behaviour of burying themselves underground was more prominent, as is the fact that it is a magic bean, so psychic. As well, ground psychic is a more unique type combination. I also needed more ground types for balance. This is becoming a common theme in the video. Trust me, you want variety, don't you? Speaking of balance, Sprigranny here is a granny to Babean. Look at how it's balancing a Babean on its head, it's so cute! It is based on a Spriggan. No, not the race in Skyrim. Well, kinda. I did take some visual cues from it, but I also wanted to evoke beanstalks and roots. Spriggans are creatures from Cornish myth that guard buried treasure, and isn't the best treasure those who we care most about? Grannies care about their grandchildren, so it made sense. I also see Sprigranny burying itself underground. It needs to feed Babean the nutrients from the soil after all. Earth Eater would be another ability. The reason it's balancing a Babean on its head is because of the Login Rock, located near the village of Treen in Cornwall. It is a perfectly balanced large rock, which folklore argued was due to magic. It was dislodged by some in the British Navy, but the 80-ton rock was restored. It still rocks but has no sign of getting dislodged. This idea of balance made me think of how someone needs intense concentration to balance a book on their head. This, combined with the magic thing, convinced me psychic was the right idea. To tie it together, Spriggans are associated with West Penwith in Cornwall, which is where Treen and the Login Rock are located as well. Isn't this a great connection? So is the connection beanstalks have with giants, which this typing ties in with. Babean will remain safe, sleeping underground, knowing Sprigranny will protect it. Speaking of Subterranean Mon, how about a 3-stage rock type? People usually talk about feminine grass types, but there are other tropes. To give Geodude, Aron, Rock'n'Roller, Roly-Coly, and Knackley a friend. That friend is Noknak, which evolves into Noknak, and then into Knockor, based on the Cornish folktales of the Knocker, which are also known as Tommyknockers in the US, a friendly cave spirit who helped miners find tin. They were said to be ghosts of dead miners, and also tricksters, playing some pranks. So why isn't it ghost or fairy type? Well, even though it has elf ears, is a trickster, is a spirit, and all that, I thought it would be more interesting to have it be the new main rock type of the region, due to the caves it lives in. Since Knockers found veins of tin for the miners, it wouldn't be too far-fetched for it to be the actual ore itself as well, a combination of rock and metal. The veins of tin made me think of human veins, but that would be too much of a weird detail, so that became metal clothing to look like a miner's outfit. This, along with its appearance taken from tools as well, references the description of Knockers, with the tools referencing the miners' tools they used in life, and steel in death. But they sure can make a knocking sound with it. The green skin references oxidized copper, but it kinda works with the metallic colours and the fantastical theme. Funnily enough, a similar creature in Welsh folklore exists, called a Coblin, which has a similar appearance and behaviour. And yes, this line is rock steel like Aggron. So, they look nothing alike. Garganackle and Gigalith are both Monorock as well. It's fine. Something that does look like another Mon is Rolylithy here, along with its evolutions. Yes, I made a Convergent of the Roly-Coly line. I'll delve more into my thinking in a future video about Convergence. However, I will say that Rolylithy is a mono steel type, with its evolutions gaining the electric type. This is because it is based on Lithium. This was inspired by how Lithium mines have recently been opened up in Cornwall. It was topical, so it made sense to me. Again, I'll fully explain myself in the Convergence video. Finally, let's talk Merfolk. The water type Merby here is just a baby Merfolk. Nothing special about it. It exists to be the base stage for its 2 evolutions. Yes, this Mon has a split evolution. Once it reaches level 35, it can either become Photomer or Metamer, depending on its gender. Photomer is based on the Mermaid of Zennor, where an enigmatic woman attended the village of Zennor's parish church, but her and a man who followed her both went missing. A mermaid then visited the village, where the locals concluded she was the same woman. Photomer has powers of invisibility, as the woman who was assumed to be the mermaid disappeared. Yeah, it wasn't the same thing, but I thought it'd be a neat reference. It gains the Ghost type for similar reasons to why Dragapult has it. Metamer is a shapeshifter, like the Pucca it's based on. Now, I feel a Pokémon could work as a fairy type, due to its mischievous nature, but I decided to make it a dark type, as I have too many fairy types as is, and not very many dark types. Also, Zoroark is a shapeshifter too. It's not the only one, but it does so with mischievous intent, so I felt it fit. Instead of having softer and transparent elements like its female counterpart, it instead has much more rigid and sharp shapes, as well as body parts that are formed differently, such as two tails, which gives it a kind of morphed physical body. The Pucca were also found in more coastal Celtic communities, including that of Wales and Cornwall. Plus, merfolk in general simply fit the vibe Kellot is going for. So that's it for the video. Make sure to check out the other videos in this series if you haven't already, as well as the artists I commissioned for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.